It's time for the big show with Andy Gallo and Country Jim.
Hello, everybody. I'm Andy Gallo.
And I'm Country Jim.
And our guest today is Jimmy Calhoun, a drummer, a songwriter, and probably one of our bigger fans here at the big show.
Well, I'm really glad to have him. He's our second drummer, and the first drummer, I didn't know at all, but I know this guy.
You know, see, and I don't know him that well. Met him at the Buckhorn Jamboree when we had Buck Sloan on the show. So, that'll air, I think, this coming next Sunday or two there, whatever, down the road there. So, but anyway. But, Jimmy, glad to have you with us, man.
Hey, thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
I know you're a busy guy. You got a company. You build houses, remodeled, that kind of thing. So you're just kind of got a lot of stuff going on. Now, let's talk about a little bit about your drumming and what all you did. That, I guess, about 20 years ago or 15 years ago? How long ago has it been since you?
A little bit longer. My dad was a steel guitar player, and he played with my uncle and stuff. So I grew up on the bandstand, literally. Stood beside my dad playing steel guitar forever. And then, but I didn't pick up the steel. I picked up the drums when I was about 15. Got my own set of drums, and I listened to 8-track tapes to learn how to play. Tammy Wynette, Chris Christopherson, I mean, everybody, to teach myself how to play.
Yeah.
I kind of drifted away from it, but then I came back to it in early 20s, my 20s. And then I got to play with my dad before he passed. So it was really fun.
That is good. That is good.
Say a little bit about that as far as, there are different corners of country music. There's the Texas dance hall shuffles and waltzes, but there's Johnny Cash corner and Waylon Jennings and all that. What style of country? What was your dad into?
Definitely shuffles. Ray Price, Buck Owens, Merle Haggard. The cool thing about, though, hearing it back then is they were playing covers, but the songs were current. The Ray Price would come out with Crazy Arms. Yeah. They'd have it on the bandstand the next weekend. Mm-hmm. So definitely grew up with shuffles and Western swing. I mean, definitely that side. I mean, 70s country, 80s country, early 90s was still good country to me.
Mm-hmm. Still is to me.
Definitely shuffles.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
And of course, I played a lot of dance halls and joints and Jimmy was absolutely he was my favorite drummer, not only from the standpoint of his ability to play the drums, but looking at him enjoy the song. Mm-hmm. There's a song that I would do. I mean, he hadn't played with me a long time only because he really just can't on the kind of schedule and whatever, but if I'm playing with somebody else and I do all right, I'll sign the papers. I could not do that song without Jimmy Calhoun coming in to my mind, because we'd be doing that song and I'd have to turn around and look at the big old grin he's got back there.
Now, do you still have a drum set set up at your house so you can get in there?
I don't have it set up, Andy, but I do still have one. When I retired, technically in 2009, I gave everything away. My son is also a drummer.
Okay.
So I gave everything away. I said, I'm just, I can't do it. I'm not going to do it. This is my decision. But then when I started getting calls to play again, I said, I'd love to do it, but I don't own a drum set anymore. So let me go. And so I just one of the times I took my son to the music store, I just got one, and I didn't have any gig at the time. I just said, well, I want to have one again, so I've had one, and then when people call, now I'm able.
So
to
you
play.
Occasionally will go out and play.
I will
if you have some time. Mm-hmm.
Country Jim said is if they've called everybody in Houston and they can't get anyone, they call me. Because they know I'd love to do it, but if my schedule allows.
Right.
Yeah.
Good.
So go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, let's talk about a little bit about your daddy and your mama and your family in general. You got some siblings, I guess, right?
I got one brother.
Got one brother?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're both adopted. And he lives here in Houston also. He's not a musician. But, yeah, that's, like I said.
Now, is he blood brother or?
No.
No, he's not. Okay. Okay.
No, both adopted.
Okay.
But, yeah, like I said, just growing up, small towns. But my dad that's all he just ever did is work his day job and then play music on the weekends. So
and you grew up in Houston or?
Bryan, College Station.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Caldwell, that area.
Oh, yeah.
So we haven't drifted too far from there.
Did your dad? Did their band ever open for Ray Price or anybody? Or
they did some shows back then. He played for. He sat in with Hank Thompson a time, also with Walt Jr. Had a Cold Brown Bottle, a good song everybody loves. Yeah. So he was able to play around. As he aged and his health deteriorated, he had to play less and less. But another steel guitar phenomenon from Houston, Herbie Remington, which you guys know very well. My dad took lessons from him. He bought his steel guitars from him. So, yeah, he was really into it.
So he mainly played a non-pedal like Herbie?
He did in the beginning and then switched to pedals later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, have you heard his grandson play?
I have.
Man.
Remarkable.
Isn't it something?
For the short time of picking up the instrument.
Year and a half?
It's incredible.
Year and a half?
He's right at 2 years.
Okay. Oh, right, 2 years. Okay.
Yeah. Looks like he's fixed to be leaving town. He's, I don't think I can say.
On a jet plane?
Yeah.
No.
I don't think I can say yet, but it looks like it's definite that he's going to go with a on-the-road band that plays the Grand Ole Opry and over 100 dates, and they're going to have their own TV show on RFD.
That is crazy.
That is crazy.
Wow.
Crazy good.
Crazy good.
Crazy good,
Yes.
Let me tell you.
He is phenomenal. I love watching the videos.
Yeah, we had Caleb on, and it just blows your mind. And he's better now than he was then, I think.
Better every week.
Anyway. Yeah. So, like you said, you took up the drums. Was that kind of your choice, or maybe was that like a little inspiration from your dad, or going, hey, man, you need to pick up some kind of an instrument and let's, do something together or something? Is that
Actually, at 15, Andy, I thought it would get the most girls.
That's what they say about drummers, they get the women, so that's...
yeah, and believe it or not, a year or so in, I kind of gave it to the wayside, and, when in high school and stuff, but after I graduated and stuff, I got back to it, and I was able to play with my dad, and our neighbors were also musicians from Kentucky. So they were heavily bluegrass influenced, but we made a country band, and it was just solid country. I mean, it was cool to be able to play with our dads and our friends until we couldn't anymore.
Right. Yeah. Now, when did you played with Jeff Woolsey as well? When did all that take place?
After that, I found Jeff.
What year
Jeff
was
found
that?
Me. That would be 91.
Okay.
I think that's what we decided. It was 91.
Okay.
And then we stuck together like blood brothers for forever. I mean, until this day. So we climbed the ladder. And some of the things Jeff commented on, we were 93Q Band of the Year, but we did a lot of shows. We opened for anybody who came to town that was country. We were generally the ones in front of them. I mean, we were able to do that.
Drop some names.
Johnny Paycheck, George Jones, Merle Haggard, Sleep at the Wheel, Dixie Chicks before they were the Dixie Chicks.
Yep. I remember seeing those girls were actually it was a little there was the little girl that was lead. She was not with them, but they used to play in College Station all the time.
Yep.
The Dixie Chicks is before. What was her name? The little.
I
hate to say this, but we called
her
her
the lottery.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, and then she went away. But she also went away because they abandoned their bluegrass roots and started doing
That's
country.
true. That's true. Yep.
So,
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I knew.
Do you remember that too?
Actually, her dad is a famous steel player.
Lloyd Maines.
Mm-hmm.
Lloyd Maines, that's right. And her name is Melanie.
Yeah.
Natalie.
Natalie. Yeah. She married one of the Diamond Rio guys, or
I think so.
something like that.
think so,
Anyway, whatever. So,
But I wanted to add a funny story about Jeff. He left this out, and I thought it was be kind of cool. It may not be. We were riding the ladder, trying to do what everybody was doing back then. We were working our day jobs, playing 125 dates a year, which was a lot.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
So we finally get some talent agents to get us to Nashville, and we have a showcase set up. So we get up there, the whole band and everything. We wake up the next morning. Nashville's had the worst snowstorm they've had in like 12 years. The whole city is completely shut down for the next like 3 days. So when we decided, or they decided, that nobody could make it in, nobody could do the showcase, so we came back to Houston with our tail between our legs. But that was our one shot at making it in the Nashville music scene, but it just didn't happen.
Got snowed out.
Yeah, wow.
I mean, of all the luck.
Yeah.
So who all was in that band that you can remember?
Billy Spruill on bass, Patrick Gunther on steel, Randy Rodriguez on lead guitar, myself on drums, and Jeff singing. Yeah. It was a really good top 40 band at the time because, like Jeff said, that's what we had to do to work in the 90s.
Well, it's like I said to Jeff, I said, and I don't know what I heard on YouTube was, I don't know if you were there or not. That may have been the girl that plays with him now. I'm not sure. But it was a tight band. I mean, it was just so good, you know. It was just dynamite, you know.
Yeah, back then we rehearsed 9 or 2 a week, and we played Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So it was, I mean, you just played with the same guys over and over. It's just going to tighten up. And Jeff's band today is phenomenal also.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Very good.
Yeah.
Okay, so Andy and I talk about liking that format of, okay, you like this or this. So talk to me about the 4/4 shuffles versus Western swing as far as your enjoyment. If you're gonna really enjoy drumming a song, what would it be? All Right I'll Sign the Papers or Take Me Back to Tulsa?
Actually, the shuffles, because when I play them, I automatically think of my dad and my childhood, because it was just so ingrained. Every weekend you heard that growing up, and my dad's band was really good. I mean, they played the stuff, but I always think about, like, when we do covers today, it's, you know, of a music or a song, but we're playing songs that are 40 years old, and Daddy was playing them when they were a week old. Mm-hmm. So I prefer the shuffle in country. I love Western swing. I was in the, Western swing band when Jeff took a break, and we had a blast. We made 2 or 3 albums, and it's very fun.
It's fun music, isn't it?
It is fun. It's upbeat. Yeah. People are happy to hear it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I love it. I do love it.
Yep.
So talk to me about 2-beat versus 4-beat. One thing that's been interesting about classic country is that there were songs once a day, some of the Charlie Walker stuff, some of the Jimmy Dickens stuff that were done 2-beat. That the bands that we like nowadays would do those 4-beat. From a drummer standpoint, you got any perspective about that?
Actually, I think for us to play, it's still the same. The bass player is really what's making that sound different, and it's danceability. Mm-hmm. That the shuffle feels good to dance to. People can, make their way around the floor. 2/4 stuff, as we call it, is also danceable. All the stuff we play you can dance to, but the bass player doing a walking shuffle 4/4 just makes it sound, like you can dance to it. Yep. And that's the biggest key.
Yep. Now
we used to call it the Ray Price dog walk and have no idea what that meant.
Now, we talked a little bit about, before we went on, about your songwriting. You wrote some songs early on. I think you said Jeff that did some of those on an album, I guess it was, or something. Now, do you sing yourself, the songs?
I do not sing, Andy.
You do not.
But
okay.
Yeah, we wrote all of the songs, my partner Billy Spruill and I, that went on our very first album in '94. We recorded it in the same studio that La Mafia owned here in town, which was cool at the time. They were huge on the Tejano side. So, the studio was super nice and stuff. But, yeah, we wrote all of those songs. And then as we went along, the band took a break. But Billy and I were able to stay together, and we wrote some more songs that ended up on a later album of Jeff's that we did also.
Now, you say you don't sing. Is that you can't sing or you won't sing? Which one is that?
I always say that the 10 steps between the drums and the front microphone is terrifying to me. So that's why. That's why. I'm a shy person, and to be in the back and play what I want to play, and when it sounds good, I'm smiling for 4 hours because it's just really fun.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
He actually, without a microphone, if he's really enjoying the song, loves the song, he'll actually sing along back there.
I do. I do that, but nobody can hear.
They don't give you a mic back there.
No,
they don't give you a mic.
So those songs you just talked about, is that available still?
Yeah, on Jeff has a big Spotify and presence online where you can hear them, but the very first album's not on there. So we'd have to buy the CD, or maybe I can talk Jeff into uploading it.
Well, we like to, and he kind of played a little bit of the game that we like to play. It's kind of a pick one, and we name two things, and you just pick one of those things. And I'm going to just give you a short list.
Okay.
I've got a big long list, but I'm not going to do them all. We'll just do a few here. And we've already covered some of these: singing or playing, and playing for sure. Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
All right. Boots or flip flops?
Boots for sure.
All right. Freshwater or saltwater?
Freshwater.
Okay. Eating the freshwater or
Yes.
or fishing? Which one? Either one, I guess.
Either one.
Either one. And let me see here. John Wayne or Steve McQueen?
I'd have to go with the Duke.
Yeah, me too.
Well,
I always thought that was a fun little thing to do right there. That was kind of neat. Yeah, go ahead. You got one?
well, I was going to just bounce off of that one
Go
and
ahead.
say John Wayne or Mr. Rogers.
I can tell you that I never missed an episode of Mr. Rogers.
You know
Oh,
what?
man.
When I was little.
We need some of that today, man.
Now, that was funny that you say that, because the other day I was flipping around and there's a documentary about Mr. Rogers. And I remember when I was a kid, I didn't watch Mr. Rogers. Now, my sister, who is 7 years younger than me, I remember her. I was a teenager, and so I'd come in and go, "What are you watching?" And she'd be watching Mr. Rogers. But I don't remember watching it. That was really kind of strange. But, my kids, when they were young, they watched Mr. Rogers.
Yeah,
I don't know how we got on that subject, but there you go.
Definitely
Thank you very
did.
much, Jim, for bringing that up.
That detour.
I want to do a whole show on him one.
Yes. He's not here anymore, so we can't bring him in, so.
Back to Calhoun. Female singer or male singer?
Who I like?
Yeah.
Oh,
George or Tammy?
George.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. There's a lot of awesome female singers, and locally I have a lot of friends that are great singers.
Not unless it's Tammy singing Apartment Number 9, and then I'll go with that almost every time.
It doesn't get any better than that.
Or Johnny Bush singing Apartment Number 9.
Yes.
That was
Well,
good, too.
what about Johnny Paycheck?
Yeah, I think
who
so,
wrote,
John.
who wrote Apartment Number
See,
9?
I was about to say, because one time on the radio, we did that. We played Apartment Number 9 by Tammy, Apartment Number 9 by Johnny, and then Apartment Number 9 by Johnny Bush. So all three of them back to back.
Absolutely.
So they're good. It's good stuff.
Good
there.
stuff.
Good stuff, man. I tell you.
Yeah, he used to when also there have been a number of people who would use Jimmy on drums when he was available. And my daughter Leslie, who's been on the show, she loved his drumming, and they're close friends too.
Yeah.
But she's a wonderful singer.
Yep. She is. Absolutely.
Love playing behind her.
Now, we briefly just going to touch on that. This is just a little PR here for your other business. Now, you do your real job. I say real job, but you're a builder and remodeler, I guess, right? Yeah.
My day gig.
So how did you? What was the? How did you get the switch? I mean, between playing full-time musician, and then all of a sudden you went, you know what? I think I'm going to go out and build some houses.
Well, yeah,
or is
yeah,
that something that you did on the side anyway?
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I started in the car business. I was in the car business for 25 years.
Wow.
And then I got burned out. So, but while playing with Jeff, we all held full-time jobs. So it was really hard. But somebody came along and recruited me to build houses. And I'd always liked it and dabbled in it on the side, not building, but, projects. And so, man, I really took a liking to it, and I stayed with that builder, building new homes until 2008 when the whole market imploded. And so we've been on our own since then. So we do our own thing now, mostly remodeling, but building new houses also.
Cool.
So, when I read the Woodlands little local newspaper, it seemed like every year they talk about who gets voted the outstanding Woodlands area home remodeler builder, and seemed like your name has popped up more than once. Tell me about all that.
Thanks for bringing that up. Our customers, they turn into friends. That's what we say. I mean, we leave the house and we're friends. So we've been gracious enough this is our 5th year in a row to be voted best construction company in the Woodlands.
And that's saying a whole lot.
And there's a lot of folks out there.
Yeah. Well, that's saying a whole lot, though, to be the best, because when you build a home, because like we talked about earlier before we got started here, I contracted my first one, and it wasn't easy. And, we had some problems with that home, but there was no warranty because I was the guy, so there was things I had to kind of go back and fix either myself or hire somebody back in. So that's a big thing to say that the integrity of your work.
We've been blessed with repeat customers and customers. We just basically, it's an easy rule. Just do it like you would want.
Now, what's the name of your company?
Date Construction.
Okay,
just
like on your shirt there.
Yes.
Okay,
Date Construction.
Cool. Little plug there.
So
we always like to do that occasionally. You got something else, Jim? You're staring at me like I'm just got a hole in my head.
Well,
and I know I do. I got 2 here and 2 here. And
we talked to Jeff a little bit about where the music is going or can go.
Mm-hmm.
What if it doesn't go? I was I don't know if I've told the story on here or not, but I was playing every month at a restaurant down in town called Cosmos, and on Sunday night they would have. I was the classic country band. They had a swing band. They had a jazz band, and a friend of mine who was a pretty big rockabilly artist. He came in to hear me, and I asked him to, like you do, if you got a singer, you ask them if they want to get up and do. So he said, I do know one classic country song, I'll do that. And so he did Crazy Arms, Ray's first hit in 1956. But anyway, he came up to me after the show, and he said, I'd like to say something to you, because we're friends, and he loves me, I love him, and so he could say it the way he said. He said, I'd like to say about your music that I just don't see how it can ever go anywhere. It's like it's always been something, not going to be something, and I can't see that you really can make enough money at it, but he said, if somehow you can keep doing it, please do so, because it really is some really great music. And that, in talking to Jeff, I can't remember where he said it, off mic or on mic, but he talked about the fact that he feels like the dance halls are kind of picking up a little bit. Mm-hmm. Do you want to say anything about any future in the music that we love so? Or?
Definitely. We need Jeff. We need Jay Cooker, bless his heart, Bobby Flores, people that need to continue this type of music.
Rocky King.
Rocky King. There's Brady Honeycutt. There's just so many guys out there doing a really fine job. But they have to keep doing it, and people have to keep supporting it. Mm-hmm. If you love it, go see them.
Yep.
Pay the admission fee and support. Keep the dance halls open. When we worked in the 90s, there was a club about every 3 miles that you could work at, and that's how we worked that many dates a night. Now there may be 3 in the whole city.
Yeah.
So they have deteriorated in the metropolitan areas, but if you drive out to the country, thank goodness there's still some dance halls, and those guys are filling them up.
Yeah. And you can see Country Jim every Sunday at Red Brick Tavern. And you do a Friday night gig there too, occasionally, right? Or is it Thursday night? What is that?
Well, I'm actually there next Thursday.
Thursday, okay.
With Mark Zeus doing a song swap.
Oh, a song.
Thing.
Oh, that's cool.
Which is another.
Yeah,
that's another.
That's what you need to do, man. You need to pick up the guitar and do. Since you're a writer, I mean, golly, I think that'd be cool. I'd love to hear you do that.
I'd love to do that. There's a songwriter contest out right now for Randall King, which is another young man really he's striking the charts. Yep. And he's good. Traditional country.
He's probably the only traditional guy out there almost. I mean, there's not very many, but he's one of them for sure.
He's hot, man.
So,
is that the guy that sounds like George Jones?
No, not really. He's got his own sound, but he is country. He is definitely. He reminds me of like in that George Strait vein. You know, he's real. He's got a country sound.
And he writes everything of his own, so good guy. Yeah.
It's been a pleasure having Jimmy Calhoun with us. And, man, I tell you what, we need to get you back over here because you've got a lot of stories. I know we just got to sit there and loosen them up a little bit, kind of.
I want to get a hold of those recordings and us play a couple of them on the air, songs that he wrote. Did you have one or two of them that you thought really had possibilities?
Yeah, Billy and I both felt that if they would get in the right hands, we had one that would be a good tune for Gary Allen. We had another one that would be good for Alan Jackson. That's just what we felt. But, I mean, some of them we wrote didn't make the cut, so we didn't think they were that good. But
don't you feel that way about my daughter's, about Leslie's songs, that she has some songs that could be good for somebody to do?
Absolutely. I tell her that all the time. I request them from the drum set. Hey, let's do this one or that one because I love them.
Lisa Lane, the artist that did All I Want for Christmas Is You, she just recorded Turnaround, one of Leslie's songs.
Correct. It's did a great job too.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, she's good. Man, it's been a great episode.
Yes.
On the big show, Jimmy Calhoun, thank you once again for being with us.
Thank you guys for having us.
We'll see you folks down the road.
Adios.
Thanks for listening to The Big Show with Andy Gallo and Country Jim.
This has been a Unicap Media presentation.